If something severed the connection above, it would be a long drop to certain death. Matthew's screams echoed from above as I heard what sounded like his bones breaking. I tried to get a good look, but he was too far above me. Then a second later, silence filled the pit, and all of us became as stiff as boards. We could hear whatever had just killed our friend moving along the cave walls. It made this strange rattling noise as though searching for us by sound alone. The sound suddenly stopped. I held my breath. I was sure that it was right there on the wall beside me. I saw a gleaming patch of yellow eyes. Matthew's bungee broke and his body tumbled on top of me. I lost my helmet and watched as both he and my equipment spiraled to the pit below. In those few short seconds of light, I also caught a glimpse of the strange creatures. They resembled scorpions made entirely of the stone-faced walls, but with 2 stingers instead of just 1. Thankfully, the darkness kept me safe for a few moments longer. Then the cables gave way again, and all of us fell in unison. 100 hours. We have made it to the bottom of the borehole. We are approximately 1,640 kilometers below the surface. The fall from the elevator should have killed us, but somehow we managed to survive by the grace of God. Our supplies are even more limited due to the collapse. Everything is scattered about in the cave tunnels. We have no time to recover them. Instead, we must begin the ascent to the facilities above where the miners are trapped. Our only chance at making it out alive now rests in the secondary drilling team. After saying a few short words for Matthew, I lead the group toward one of the meandering tunnels. They are just large enough to crawl in. They are so hot. This deep, we are on the edge of the liquid core of our planet, and every move we make draws us closer. The heat is making us tense and delirious, along with the continuous strange noises from the creatures that dwell here. We reach a larger pocket of caves and get the chance to stand. I spot some of the drones that were once used to survey these mines and feel dread overwhelm me again. The equipment has been dismantled and torn apart by something large, even bigger than the rock scorpions we have already encountered. The deep indentations in the ground warn me that the creature or creatures are taking the same path we are. We should reroute, Jonah suggested. I agree. We ended up choosing a lower tunnel, one that risks us getting closer to the core. We must move from one nightmare to the next, straight toward the mouth of hell. Hey guys, I want to take a minute to thank HelloFresh for sponsoring this episode. Are you sick and tired of going to the store every day to stock up on food? Because I know I am. But thankfully, HelloFresh has changed my life by giving me back my most important asset, my time. With HelloFresh, I am able to easily order meals right to my door from the comfort of my home. No more forcing myself to make a run to the grocery store and wait in long checkout lines. Now I order HelloFresh's quick and easy 15-minute dinners, on-the-go breakfasts, and 10-minute lunches to take back control of my time, while also being able to enjoy some of the most delicious cuisines. A couple personal favorites of mine are the crispy Cajun chicken sandwich and the bacon and jalapeno mac and cheese, both of which are out of this world amazing. With over 50 unique weekly recipes, you'll never get sick of eating the same thing again. They even offer low-carb, low-cal, and vegetarian options. There's a reason why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. Now go experience it for yourself. Go to hellofresh.com/14nosleep and use code 14nosleep for up to 14 free meals, including free shipping. I cannot recommend them enough. This kind of convenience is something that has truly changed my life. That's hellofresh.com/14 NOSLEEP. And be sure to use promo code 14nosleep to get up to 14 meals completely free, including free shipping. Now don't wait. This offer is good for a limited time only. We found a city at the bottom of the world, nestled against the liquid lava of the outer core. It was clearly designed at one time to be hospitable for life, but not for humans. 10 hours prior, we descended to rescue a team of miners in a pocket of the cave that collapsed. Since then, we have gone much further down, trying desperately to outmaneuver gigantic creatures that call these tunnels home. Our sense of direction is gone, and for the past few hours, I am certain that even our leader doesn't know for sure where we were headed. I didn't want to voice my concerns, but it did seem like the cave itself was alive, ever so subtly changing shape and direction. But I told myself it was just my mind, trying to grasp at the strangeness of this hellscape. Now that we have found what look like ancient tombs, I have found myself questioning sanity again. No human could ever live this far down into the earth. So what civilization called this subterranean palace home? Inside the first foyer, the heat dissipates and a cool air covers our team. Arthur tells us to take a few breaths, and I use the time to examine the material this building is made of. Describing the structure as being like a city felt wrong though, because the further we went, the more bizarre the shape it took. It ran in every direction through the caverns, including steps and passages that felt impossible, zigzagging across the walls and ceilings as though it had once been home to thousands of people, maybe even millions. I was sure I was seeing things, but it wasn't long before my teammates voiced their concerns as well.
This is insane, Arthur. No way any of this can be built in the last millennia. I can't even get a reading on any of the materials,
Jonah said.
We need to worry about the mission and nothing else. Let Marjorie's people handle the intellectual stuff,
he insisted. He was smart to not focus on it for too long. I feared if I let my mind wander to what kind of creatures had made these structures, I would likely go insane. 0500 hours. We came to a halt at a massive chasm that stretches beyond the outer core into what appeared to be a bottomless hole. All of us could see signs of strange life teeming below in the lava. Worm-like creatures that slithered and shook violently the moment we invaded their space. How long had it been since humans had been here, if ever? Arthur kept us focused on the task at hand.
From here, we are expected to scale up. The facilities that the government are using are about a quarter mile above us. If we hadn't lost our equipment in the earlier fall, it would be an easy climb. But right now, it's looking like we will have to do it the old-fashioned way.
All of us knew what he meant. Without a failsafe to keep us in place, the climb against the pit wall would be extraordinarily perilous. He was asking us to risk our lives. But then again, all of us knew what we were signing up for the moment we started this job. Strange hell beasts and impossible mazes weren't exactly part of the plan, but I knew we had faced nightmarish caves almost as bad before.
How much oxygen do you think they have left up there?
Red asked. He was the voice of reason. Already we had exhausted half of our own supply, and we had lost communication. We had no way of being sure that Marjorie or her team would be coming. We could find ourselves trapped as well.
It's possible that they may have already ran out, but we can't simply turn around. This is our only way back to the surface,
Arthur reminded us.
Odds are against us,
I admitted, as we checked our own equipment again. As though to echo that feeling, we heard a weird breathing noise from the structure behind us. The soldiers that were still alive quickly aimed their rifles toward the opening, and all of us froze to wait and see what would crawl out. Then Jonah emerged from the darkness.
Whoa, you guys are looking tense. Everything okay?
He asked when he saw their weapons.
What in blazes are you doing? Where did you go?
Arthur asked. I hadn't even noticed he had left, I thought.
Sorry, sir. I got a little sidetracked, but it may have been for our benefit. I found something I think you'll want to see.
Jonah led us back into the nameless city, guiding us through the dense fog the way anyone familiar with it would. It astonished me he had managed to memorize all of this so quickly. Then we entered a grand opening in the cave wall and found ourselves standing in what looked like a room full of mirrors. It stretched toward the upper mantle of the cave for miles.
I think it's some kind of transport,
Jonah explained, pointing toward a nearby control panel. Somehow, the power was operational. Not in a language we understood, though.
It would be risky to use this,
Arthur commented. Jonah only laughed.
You can't seriously think we have the manpower to make it up that cliff. This pit is nearly at the very core of the earth. It's a wonder we are even alive. This transport is the only thing that's going to get us where we need to go.
None of us dared to join in his rebuttal, even if we were sure he was right. For a few moments, you couldn't hear a pin drop in the room. Then Arthur gave the orders.
Harley, check the perimeter, and then we can see if this thing can haul us up.
I saluted and grabbed my own equipment, moving toward the eastern corridor for a sweep of the tunnels. I wasn't exactly sure what I was looking for, but the commander was rarely wrong when he gave us these instructions. Something about all of this was off. He must sense it. I realized. A moment later, I saw what that was. There was a body, or what was left of it, in the next corner of the hallway. It looked like it was drained of energy, color, and life. All that was left now was just a hollow shell. I reached for it to get a closer look when I heard a sharp noise from the mirror room. Running back inside, I saw that the room had already activated on its own, and 2 more of the soldiers were now completely vaporized.
What happened?
I asked as the door sealed. We were moving at a rapid pace toward the upper caverns.
This technology appears to be harvested from life force to traverse space itself. I checked the geological readings in this area before coming here. There is no way this elevator should even be working.
Brett commented.
In other words, we are moving in between dimensions at the moment.
Jonas said with a nod.
It killed them,
I said, focusing on what little remained of the soldiers.
This tech must connect to a point in the facility above, meaning the team there may be aware that we are on our way.
Arthur realized.
Do you suppose they might have triggered similar tech in the cave above?
I guessed. I recalled my misgivings about the structure, the way the cave had been alive. If this really was alien in nature, it all suddenly made perfect sense. Every movement it made was the way an organism protected itself.
We can't speculate until we arrive,
Arthur said as he gathered the weapons. Besides the 3 of us, only 1 soldier still remained, and all of us were gravely aware it was possible we were walking into another trap. 0800 hours. The shimmering mirrors finally darkened, and the transport shook, telling us that we had arrived. Arthur passed a rifle to me and told me to be ready for whatever might be on the other side. I wasn't. The doors opened into a rudimentary passage of stones. The cave was damp, cramped, and quiet. Not nearly as alien as I had expected. The passage narrowed, and I kept the weapon near my side as Arthur stayed in the middle, while Brett and Jonah protected our rear. Light was difficult in the dense space, but we made do for the next few meters until we ran into a massive sheet of metal.
This must be the facility that Marjorie said they were using as a base,
Arthur commented. We moved to the east to find an entrance, the cavern widening as we followed strange formations on the rock. A closer look told me they couldn't possibly all be rocks. There were fingers emerging from the cave wall. In some places, it looked like the cave had swallowed them whole. Then as we turned a corner, I think all of us gasped at once. There in the rock face was what was left of Marjorie's husband, Samuel. Half of his body somehow melded with the rocks as we got closer and I checked for vitals. Somehow, he was still alive. The moment I pricked his fingers, Sam's eyes opened frantically and he gasped for breath.
Calm down, man. It's Arthur. Arthur Warren. Marjorie sent us down here. You came to rescue us.
Sam's eyes were filled with tears. Then he said something I didn't expect.
Why? Why did you come? You should have left us to die. Marjorie wouldn't want that,
Arthur said firmly.
Don't you understand?
Sam asked as he looked toward his melded body.
This is hell. Marjorie is dead, and we are all about to be dead.
Hey everyone. The past year and a half has been crazy. Because of that, mental health has never been more important. So many people are struggling and not feeling like their normal selves. Therapy helps, and it doesn't have to be sitting around just talking about your feelings. So what is therapy exactly? It's whatever you want it to be. You can privately talk to someone if you feel like you're not dealing well with stress, or you're having relationship issues. Whatever you need, don't be ashamed of normal human struggles and start feeling better, because you deserve to be happy. And now you don't have to worry about finding an in-person therapist nearby to help. BetterHelp offers customized online therapy through video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Join the millions of people who are seeing what therapy is really about. See if it's for you, because you are your greatest asset. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp, and all Dr. No Sleep listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/DNS. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DNS. Now back to the story.
force broke through the mantle into the deeper pockets of tunnels. It felt like we were on the cusp of greatness. That excitement soon turned to dread. The farther we went into this unknown pocket of Earth, the more unusual our surroundings became. My team was not prepared for the nightmares of the caves. Less than 6 hours after breaking into the next pocket of tunnels, we were trapped. But it wasn't an accident that placed us here. I'm the one responsible for causing the collapse. I only wish those above hadn't tried to rescue us. 13 hours later, I watched as the massive drills poured through the ground, my wife trying to rescue me. I wished so much that I had the chance to contact them, warn them to stay away. Had they learned nothing from the past 48 hours? I shouted, trying to get her attention as the drill went deeper, but I knew from where I was in the cave, it would be like yelling across a football field. Soon I started to see dark liquid slime pour up from in between the cracks. It wasn't oil. It was moving and forming into strange worms.
How deep is it to the next pocket?
My chief engineer Akeley shouted over the machinery, but I wasn't listening. I was watching the slime ooze out and ordered my team to back away. The cave reacted the way any living organism would to protect itself. It started to shake and reform, swallowing my soldiers up as Marjorie's drill kept coming toward us. She just kept drilling. Even from my angle, I could see that she had this look of determination in her eyes. And then I realized her plan. She knew that she wasn't going to survive at this rate. I held my breath as she pressed on the equipment and then closed her eyes. I knew it was coming, but the detonation was deafening. A few of the soldiers were thrown back by the impact, but it was the ones nearest to the blast that faced real horror. From the impact site, I saw what looked like more of the strange slime emerging, scrambling for anything to consume. It was screaming the way a vicious bird of prey might when scooping up a victim. The second detonation drowned out the shrieks of the creature as the equipment fell into the hole. I saw Marjorie's crane fall headfirst into the pit. My wife was dead, and my team fell into the pit right after her. Then the wall of rock consumed me. Hours passed by. Silence and darkness were my only companions. I could feel my body, but I was trapped. Every part of me melded with the stones as I felt pain throbbing through me. I wanted so badly to die, but unfortunately, I had to endure more. 4 hours later, soon the other rescue team arrived. Arthur Warren told me that everything was going to be okay. His eyes told me he was lying. He had seen the nightmares this hell offered. I said to Arthur,
You need to leave before they hurt you, before their madness comes with thoughts of revenge. They think you are responsible for all of this. I've already lost my wife, Arthur. I don't want to lose you as well.
As soon as I gave the warning, I heard the engineers enter the room. The slime had infected their bodies, turning them into mindless drones for the strange alien life forms that called this cave a home. Akeley shouted orders, telling everyone to stay in the caves.
Jonah? What is the meaning of this?
Brett asked.
Jonah is dead. You saw his shell down below. I am the next evolution,
the man said, kicking his former friend to the ground. I could see the black slime swirling behind his eyes, easily controlling the new life form and using the human body to move and think. I knew it had only one more goal now, after being locked in these caves for so long, to infect all of us and spread to the world above. Again, the cave shifted and moved. I found myself somehow alive, clinging to sanity as I looked up at my former friends. All of them are now slaves to this mad virus.
Just kill me and get it over with. You don't need me alive,
I told them, spitting on their shoes.
These other humans will be our first wave into the world. We can treat them with the same respect they gave us over the millennia,
Akeley told me as he checked my body for injuries.
But you will have a different fate. Your job will be to tell the truth of what you saw here. There will be a war, and we will watch as you humans tear each other limb from limb,
he said, his black eyes dilated. I looked toward the others, my mind racing for a solution. None of them could be allowed to escape this place. I saw a small grenade on the belt of one of the soldiers. It wasn't much, but it might give me a head start. I reached and was able to barely grab it. Uncorking the grenade, I tossed it toward his face, expecting the cave to react. The walls around me shook, and I was freed from the walled prison I was stuck in. The diseased Akeley burst apart and pushed millions of worms into the air. All of them crawled towards us as we ran away. We barely made it back to the next tunnel in time as the whole ceiling began to fall, and I felt my body go numb. This was exactly how Marjorie died. Was history repeating itself? My life felt chaotic and frozen all in a single moment as the rocks began to surround me. Then I felt a sharp tug. Arthur was still there, risking everything to save me.
Come on.